Greetings. I'm Martin Crabtree from the Mercer County Community College Library. I want to talk a little bit more about leveraging your search results to help you focus in and get the information you need for your research. Research will take some time. That's all there is to it, and I can't tell you otherwise. But you want to use whatever search tool you're using, be it database searches, Google searches, whatever, to its full potential. Whatever tool you're using, understand all the features available to it and to you so that you can help focus in on what you need quickly and effectively. Databases have many search features to offer you, and it can save a lot of time and help you focus in on the useful information. It can also help you focus in your research topic if you're not quite sure exactly what you want to research. So let's take a look and see how this works. We're out to the library's homepage now. We're going to go into the databases. Here on the left, under the quick links, we'll go into the databases by subject. We're going to go into a general category right now for this search, and we're going to go into ProQuest Central. Click on ProQuest Central. Remember, when we're off campus, we do need to log ourselves in. And now I have my search box here. I'm going to put in some search terms. Today I'm going to look for women and gender role. Execute my search over here on the left with the magnifying glass. Initially, I have over 2,200,000+ hits over here on the left-hand side. You can see the results. That's a lot more than I want to look through. We want to work on the search and narrow things down and focus it in before we even look at the actual content of our results list. Off to the left-hand side are a number of options for us to work with, and we're going to use many of these to help us focus things in. Firstly, full text. I'm going to limit my search to just full text. I want full articles I can view, I can print out, and I'll check the box here. I could have checked the box at the opening screen, but chose to do it here to show you what happens. And you'll see I've lowered the number of results I've had by about 10%. And that's about the average I see when asking for just full text articles. I'm going to ask for the peer-reviewed scholarly journal articles as well today. Focus myself in a little bit further. I'll check this box and redo my search again. Again, I've lowered my search quite significantly by about another 700,000 hits or so. Looking my way down the list, source type. I can select one of these if I choose. I asked for the scholarly journals. A few other things kind of snuck in as well, but I want to go to more because I want to show you the options that you get here. With the more options, you get the full list, and I can include and exclude things. And you may want to include different things depending on your search needs. You may not want just exclusively scholarly journals. Maybe you want journals and newspapers and magazines or something like that. You never even check the peer-reviewed box. In this case, I want just the scholarly journals, so I'm going to include that and apply my search. It'll get rid of the other things and lower my search a little bit. So I've thrown out about another 1,000 or so articles in my search. Working my way down the list a little bit further, you'll notice the earliest article I have is from 1938. That's mighty old. And given my search topic, I probably want to focus on information a little bit more recent. Now, the age of the information is very relative to your search and your needs. So this may be perfectly fine for a different search topic. But for mine, I'm going to narrow it down. I can use the slider here and work my way up the chart if I wish, but I really encourage you to use the date range instead. This way you can be much more precise. You can specify day, month, and year, or just year. They give us all the formatting options down here. And sometimes you may want to say, look for a news event that happened within a specific week or something like that. In my search here, I'm just going to ask for information from 2010 to 2020, and I'm going to update my search some more. Again, going back to the top of the page, we can see I've reduced my search even further, throwing out a few tens of thousands more articles. Now, looking at my search terms here, I put in women and gender role. And when a search tool sees the space between two words and nothing else, it assumes I'm saying and. So what it's seeing actually is women and gender and role. If I want gender role as a phrase, those words locked together, I got to put the quotes around it. So I'm going to do that right now. and lock my search together so it looks for gender roles of phrase, those two words side by side, redo my search. And you'll see I've thrown out a lot more things by insisting that those two words, gender and role, be side by side. I've thrown out well over 200,000 search results by just insisting these two words are locked together. Working my way down the list a little bit further, another one that could be helpful, particularly when looking at the scholarly journals and such, is document type. I'll click on it and go for more options. What I want to mention and point out here right now are the reviews. Reviews, many times scholarly journals have book reviews, things like that, because researchers write books as well as articles, and I'm not interested in being told about a book right now, and I have to go find the book. So I'm going to exclude the reviews. Something else to mention, commentary, and further down, editorials. These are more opinion-based than actually fact-based, and sometimes an opinion may not be what we want. Today I'm going to get rid of those commentaries and editorials. There are a number of other variations on document type I can include and exclude as I need, but I want to keep this kind of brief, so we'll apply those terms to our search. Again, I've reduced my searches by a few hundred more hits. So far, everything that I've looked at has been things that I didn't have to think very hard about. Now we have to think a little bit about the subject. Again, I'm going to go for more options. And with subjects, we want to check just the ones that are the must-haves, the gotta-haves. It's almost like a reflex. You want to check it, include it, and again, exclude it. Something that's not relevant to what you want. Very, very wrong. We can exclude as well. We do not want to check everything. And certainly looking at the top of our list, studies, women, gender differences. These are all very broad kinds of things. These are not the kinds of things we want to focus on. We really want to focus further down on more specific subjects. Also, we may see different themes, ways of viewing our topic that we could focus on. For example, here, females and men and women showed up here. We could focus on one gender or the other. We don't have to right now, and we won't right now because I'm not sure which way I want to look at this, but I know that I can then focus one side or the other, male or female, if that's what I choose to do further down in my research. I like families and family life. Maybe I'll focus on the family and not other aspects of women and gender roles, say in the workplace or something like that, and work my way down the list. Again, I don't want to check everything. Children and youth are showing up. Maybe I want to focus on the children within a family. Certainly age component can show up. Teenagers, younger people, things like that. Or older people, actually teenagers shows up down here. Ooh, parents and parenting. When I think about it, I kind of like this even better than the family. So I'm going to include that. And I'm going to go back for a moment. I'm going to uncheck the family and family life. I like this parents idea better. I want to focus on parents. So work my way down the list a little bit further and see what else we find that can help us focus in even further. Gays and lesbians show up. Do I want to focus on same-sex marriage, heterosexual marriages? Again, it's not something I have to act upon right now, but it's something to be aware of that I can add later on, redo my subjects, and focus in even further if I so choose. Continuing down the list, again, different things are showing up. Mothers. Maybe I want to focus on the mother side of things rather than the father's role and things like that. Let me include that as well in my search. Work my way down further. Again, religion shows up here. Again, there may be a religious component to my search. Different religions, and how people practice their faith may affect the roles and such within a family and in mothering. Again, I don't have to act upon that one right now, but working my way down further. Politics. Now that's kind of too far out of there. I'm not interested in politics. I'm going to exclude that one in my search. Working my way down further as well for some more things that we can work on. Again, different things, labor market. Again, I'm not interested really in the workforce aspect of things. We'll exclude that one also. Minority and ethnic groups. African Americans are showing up. Again, there's cultural, racial components that will show up as well in many topics. Again, I can include these if I wish, or maybe something just to be aware of right now, and maybe I'll use it later on. I see fathers showing up. Let me exclude those. I'm interested in mothers. I don't want to find articles that focus on the father and such. Working my way down the list a little bit further, I eventually hit the bottom of the list. I'm going to apply this to my search. Again, it's going to narrow our search down. Now we're down to hundreds of articles. We're down to just a few hundred articles compared to the 2.2+ million articles we started with. So we've really narrowed things down even further. Now we can start looking at our articles a little bit more closely. Again, taking this first one, for example, the preview icon off to the side, clicking on that brings up the abstract, the summary of what the article's about. I don't have to read the entire article. Again, the subjects that are associated with this article. Hispanic Americans didn't show up in my results list, but it is a subject that's being used. Maybe that's another one I want to focus on, be aware of. It's another thing to consider as I'm thinking further about my research and really focusing in completely on what I'm looking for. One other thing I want to talk about before we finish up is location, geography. Sometimes people are interested in finding things just about the United States. I want to see in the United States, and that's the only focus I have. Geography can be a little bit problematic. Going down the list a little bit further, we do have a location option as well. We'll click on that and open it up further. When thinking about geography, many articles will never have any sort of geography location associated with it. You'll notice that only 54 articles of the 400+ we have the United States associated with it. Another 23, New York. Again, states, New York, New Jersey, California, things like that. You'll have to consider those also. Same thing with cities. Cleveland, Dallas, Seattle. You'll have to look through the list to find all these things. And again, many articles will never have a location indicator and will actually be very good for your research. So unless it's exceedingly important to find those location type things and enforcing it in the United States, I tend not to do that. Instead, what I tend to do if there's location issues that become a problem, I'll exclude the places that I'm not interested in. In this case, I'm focusing on the United States. So again, I'm going to exclude all the things that focus more completely on different locations and working my way down the list. This can be a little tedious working our way down the list, but it can be, again, helpful in narrowing things down and helping us focus our search even further. Notice Chicago is showing up here. Remember, do not include it. You just want to leave it alone. If I include it, then only, in this case, 3 articles will show up in my results, the 3 that are talking about Chicago and such. You'll also notice as I work my way down the list further that fewer and fewer articles are being affected. The list works its way down by the number of articles less and less, and I can work my way down further, and I'm just going to apply it, save a little bit of time. Again, it's going to focus us in a little further. Now we're down to almost just over 300 articles. So we've really squeezed things down. Now, when you look at the results, you'll likely see things that are much more relevant and focused in the kind of information that you're interested in. Now it's your turn to do some research. Remember, we're here to help. Email us, library@mccc.edu. You can get a hold of me directly at crabtrem, CRABTREM, @mccc.edu. Thanks for your time and attention. We're always here to help. All you got to do is ask.